What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another radio talk show, Gabe Develasco's radio talk show podcast. I'm here with a special guest, Courtney Gist, actually a returning guest, much like George Ruiz when I interviewed him. And it was so awesome to have him on the show the last time. And in fact, his last time was the last episode of my podcast, which is, pretty crazy. So I just want to give, a round of applause for, welcoming Courtney back. Hey man, what's up? It's good to have you back, my man. So,
Appreciate
how
it.
you been, bro? Tell me how's everything going?
Everything's going good right now, man. Just life has been pretty eventful for me for the last year, but I'm starting to get things back going, and I got a lot of projects in the works, and we're gonna, I'm making a team right now and everything like that. So everything's looking a lot better than it did actually within the last year. So I'm happy, and I'm happy that I'm back on the show. I really am. I enjoyed myself last time, so. We back in here. Let's do
it. Yeah, we back in here, dude, for sure. I remember the last time, man, when I first interviewed you, the last time it was so awesome because I knew that you had a lot of material, that you had a lot of stories, a lot of things to talk about, and you related to a lot of people. And you already know that's what my channel is all about, relating to people, helping them out, where they can get help and everything like that. But, since I have, new viewers and I've just, started this up again, hey, tell the world a little bit about yourself.
All right, well, for the new people that don't really know me, again, I go by AKA the Red Spectre, as a lot of people know me. 26 and stuff like that. I'm definitely a big fiction writer, like you said before. We went into it a lot in the last episode, but for people who don't really know me, I'm big on fiction writing. I'm currently working on 3 projects right now. One being The Kindred, of course. You remember that, Gabriel?
I remember.
The second one that I'm working on, I'm trying to get a show made right now called Centurion Valley, which we're going to get into later in the show about that. And a third little secret project that I've been working on, but I haven't really unveiled too much of it. I have a couple pictures, but that's it. Some people know about it. It's Tattoos. It's another show that I've been working on, but my main focus right now is, of course, these other 2 projects. So, but I'm gonna go into it later in the show. But other than that, yeah, man, I'm a hustler. I'm a go-getter, and that's really it, man. That's the best way to describe me. And not to mention, I'm just that type of person where I just like to make others better around me, and I like to keep positivity around me because I've gone through so much negative. So I'm that type of person where I try to bring the positive when I can, and if I can help somebody or inspire somebody, I'm gonna do it. So
that's good, man. And, I'm glad to hear that because lately I've been trying to inspire people, get people on that grind, get people on that hustle, really get them to do what they want to do, what they've always set out to do. And actually, it's funny because I was working today, and today I had some dude, I don't even know who he is, come in today and was talking to my one of my team leaders at work, and saying that he couldn't do something because of college or whatnot. He sounded really fake and really I don't know if I can do this at this time. He didn't sound super genuine, not fake, but super genuine. And I just laid the smack down on him today, saying if you fucking want it, you'll get it. This, and I was saying this at work.
And you pull the Shia LaBeouf basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Just fucking do it. Yeah. I pulled it on him, and I don't even know who the dude was, to be honest. I don't even know who he was. I just got so heated in that moment because now lately I've been going, for a lot of people that don't know, I withdrew from school. I'm not in DMAC anymore, which we will get to that later, because Courtney and I, if a lot of people remember, we used to be in school, we used to be in the same class, and that's where I met my good friend Courtney, Mr. Red Spectre. But yeah, and actually, funny thing is, I didn't know this. I didn't know this about Courtney, but he also raps. The man with many
Oh
talents, I like to
God.
say. The man with many talents, and that's what I want to know, man. Actually, before that, I want to know, uh, what have you been doing in life besides like Centurion Valley and writing your books? So like, yeah, just in the little midst, just talk about your rap album too. Tell us like how it is. Just lay it on us. Lay it on us, bro.
All right. Well, it's a funny because anyone that knows me did really doesn't even know that I rap. I've kept that a secret a very long time. I've been rapping actually since I was in middle school.
Right.
One thing that really inspired me to even start rapping in the first place was growing up. I used to hang out with my brother a lot. My brother used to take me everywhere with him and stuff like that. We used to hang out all the time. And my brother was a huge hip hop fan. So when at a young age, I was always exposed to like Nas, Jay Z, Mobb Deep. Um,
You rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace,
Rest in
Prodigy.
peace, Mob.
Um,
Yeah, there you go.
I just always was inspired by that, and I just always loved lyrics. I love the music. I just love the genre because I actually love music just in general. It's not even just rap and hip hop. I love rock.
Right.
I love jazz. I just love music. But with rap and hip hop, it's always been special to me because there's certain people, especially if you grow up in a household without a father figure, a lot of the times when you're listening to these albums and stuff like that, it's like these people are your father figures when you listen to certain
Oh,
artists.
for sure.
Yeah, so it's
For
like
sure, dude.
that's why like when I hear today a lot of the music now where lyrics aren't really important, it's really all about getting turned up on a beat or something like that. I frown upon that, and it's not knocking the artists themselves because hey, if somebody's gonna pay you $1 million,
It's what sells. It's what
yeah,
makes money.
if somebody's gonna pay you $1 million just to go mumble on a song, I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say you're an idiot because you went ahead and did that. But me, as I feel like that's disrespectful to the art and hip hop. So that's why.
Right.
I started picking it up. Then my brother actually started rapping. He quit. He ended up giving it up, but I just still stayed with it, and I would just write every time because I was already a writer from making stories and stuff. So it's like I felt like, hey, rhyming words, and I wrote poetry. Fun fact, like if you write poetry, rap will come super easy to you. Trust me on that. You just learn how to just put words together, metaphors, and everything like that. And I just started writing a
You
little
have a
bit.
rap song.
Yeah, and I just started writing a little bit, and I really got better in high school because before, if you would have listened to me when I first started, I was trash. But
just like everybody when they start something, bro. Yo, when everybody starts something, they're always trash at it, bro. Dude, I used to be so shit when it comes to shuffling, so shit when it comes to guitar playing, dude,
Yeah.
and so shit when it came to art. And I'm still shit, but the thing is, I keep progressing, and that's what I love. You're progressing daily. You're progressing like a lot, with your art. But continue, man. I'm loving what I'm hearing so far.
Yeah, so like I went in high school. I used to get into like a little secret cipher with a couple of my friends that did rap. Again, because a lot of people didn't know that I rap, so I used to go into these ciphers with people that I just met around school and stuff, and we used to just get into the cipher. Because actually, I'm not a great freestyler. I'm better as a writer, and I just have a lot of stuff that I wrote and stuff. But off the top of the head, I'm not really that strong. I can do a little bit, but I'm not that great. But at least I admit that. So I started doing that, and then I just kind of fell out of it because I just felt that the music game was changing, and I felt like people didn't
Right.
really care about lyrics anymore. So that kind of got me out of it. Then fast forwarding to last year, I ended up meeting up with a good friend of mine, Jacob, aka Aristotle. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to my boys on Illicit, my boy Anthony, aka DJ Milkman, my boy Daniel, Big DGD, and stuff like that. Those became my brothers last year, man. They did. They're the ones that literally motivated me to get this project done. Jake came up to me and he was like, hey, spit something for me, because I told him that I used to rap, because he told me that he rapped, and I listened to him and he was dope. And I just wrote like a quick little sample, and I spit it for him, and he was like, yo, that's
Right.
dope. He's like, yo, I want to put you on my album, because at the time he was working on his album, which, side note, that's actually about to release very, very soon. All Passion. You guys need
the
to
side
download it
album?
when it comes out. Yeah, that's my boy Aristotle.
Yo, for sure. I'm gonna put that in the link description below, and I just want all my fans, my viewers, to know this. I'm not trying to steal your thunder,
Yeah.
but yo, I just want everybody to know this. I have listened to the album many times before, going to and from work, and I will let you know it is straight fire. Guys, you will not be
Well,
disappointed.
you
And
gotta remember
I
the
was
album
so
we're talking about
shocked.
now, though, like Aristotle's album, it hasn't come out yet. We're
Oh
gonna.
no, I mean Game On.
Oh, Game
I
On.
mean
Yeah,
Game
yeah, yeah.
On. Like
My bad.
yeah, yeah. Why don't you talk a little bit about Game On?
All right, yeah. So we're gonna get into that. So then, he put me on a track on his album called Animal. So when everyone listens to All Passion, listen to Animal. I'm on there. It's a really good joint. And I'll never forget, I did a one take. And for people who know about rap and recording and stuff, if you do a one take, you're a bad motherfucker, because doing a one take is
savage,
so difficult.
savage.
It's so difficult to get the right sound, to get the right pitch, the right energy onto that verse to do it the first time. And I was able to do it, and that was my first time ever really recording anything. So, and then after that, like, I felt like, okay, this is something I could do. Then I also did some work on our collab album. Also, shout out to our collab album. It's on the Illicit page, YouTube page. Go ahead, sign up for that. It's on there for free. I came onto that project a little bit late, so I was only on one song. It's called Murder Shit, and I went on there and I just killed it, man. Like, we all of our verses were dope. But it's just like I put so much anger and so much energy into it that it's just like I just became like a man possessed. And then that was when, because Jacob Aristotle, he had already released, like, he's about to release a second album. So All Passion is the second album. So he came up to me, he was like, yo, Court, you need to release your own album, man. Like, you have talent. You need to actually, people need to hear you. And at first I was like, nah, man, I can't make no damn album. Like, I can't do that. Like, you know how much time and effort and planning goes into that. It's just, not to mention, like, I've always been the type of person where I've always had that problem with confidence in a way. So it's like, I'm thinking that, people are going to listen to this and they're going to think I'm trash. They're not going to like me or anything like that. I don't know why. And he was like, no, just be yourself. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to be myself. And he finally talked me into it. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to do my own album. So that's when I decided to, and then I talked to Anthony, DJ Milkman, and I was like, yo, okay, Jake told me into getting an album. This is how I want it to go. If I'm gonna do my own album, I want to do this entirely my way. And I loved how Anthony, DJ Milkman, he was so supportive of that. And that's what, as a producer, it's so hard to find that people who are just so willing to listen to your ideas and actually go with what you want. And I literally, me and him worked so well together on that project, because, like, we basically were the masterminds behind the beat layout, the photos, and just the sound, how everything needs to go. It was a lot of planning, and me and him spent countless nights, countless Skype chats working on it. And then it just came naturally, and I started writing my verses. We made the beats first. I started writing my verses to the songs. And sure enough, I just decided, like, hey, I'm going to bring my storytelling life, but into my rap life as well. Shit. So that's why I decided to name the album Game On. So Game On is basically, it starts off as a character, like a guy playing a video game for one of his street friends. Because one of his street friends comes over and he's trying to get him to, help him out to do something illegal, and his friend is like, nah, I'm not really with that, and stuff like that, and he gets angry because he's like, what do you do all day? Like, you don't really, if you're not on the street, what do you do? And he's like, yo, I'm just a person where I like to stay in the house, man. I like to play video games, I like to watch anime. And he was like, so what's so special about it? So he turns on this video game, and that's where the album starts off. And that's why it's called Game On, and that's why all the songs on the album have a video game sample to them. Because it's just like a video game, literally. Sick. And it tells a story. It tells a story of a kid who was extremely, like, unpopular in school, nerdy. He didn't really fit in. His father was never around. His mom worked 2 jobs and everything like that. The girls wouldn't talk to him and stuff like that. So the first song on the album is called Heartless. And ironically, it has a Kingdom Hearts sample to it. I got it from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I'll play it right here for the people, so they could listen to it, while you talk. It's a really good song. I really enjoyed it.
I personally though didn't like the way I flowed on it, because that was my first time ever rapping slow, and I'm not a slow rapper, so it's a little bit off tone. But the lyrics, if you can just you put away the flow and you listen to the lyrics, it's a very deep song, and that's the first song on the album. So it's basically just like a video game in character progression. You start off, you meet the character, you see what's going on, it's the hero's tale. So you see he actually battles depression, he ends up trying to commit suicide, it fails, and then he goes back to school and he ends up meeting up with this one guy that's in a Crip gang. And this guy basically pulls him under his wing and starts showing him the ropes, and he becomes a part of this gang now. So now he's feeling accepted, he feels like he has friends now, and it starts to change him. He starts to change from this nerdy, unpopular kid. Now he's starting to turn to this hardcore, you know, he's all about his gang now.
Badass motherfucker.
Yeah, he starts turning that way, and he starts like getting all arrogant, confident, and that's when it goes into like Big Blue, which Big Blue is a metaphor for Crips, which that I made up completely. I don't even know how the hell I made that up, but I just did it.
I kind of had a you know, a thought there, because I remember when you were on the show the last time and you were talking about your life and back in the day and how you used to be a Crip.
Oh, it's heavily inspired by my life. It definitely is heavily inspired by it.
Right.
Of course, some things are very fictionalized, of course, but but it is inspired because Heartless, honestly, to tell you the truth, Heartless is completely me. Everything that I talk about Heartless, I went through. Literally every single thing. So it was very emotional for me to do that song, just mainly because
I felt for you. I felt for you because for me, you know me and a lot of people do. I don't have a dad. You know, I always dreamt of my dad. I always wondered who my dad was, what my dad did, why did he leave my mom and I. And eventually I found out what really all happened. Whether I believe it or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't like to think about that, because I did recently met up with my father, not in person, but over the phone, and we talked it out, and like, you know, he told me some shit, and it's just, you know, I gotta feel bad for the guy, because like, you know, he is my dad at the end of the day. And also the fact is, like, you know, he was diagnosed like with cancer, which really hit me hard. Ooh. Because he was diagnosed with cancer and almost passed away. Mm-hmm. My uncle actually had to tell me that, and that was really like a punch to the heart, like a really good, like you know Stink Meter when he drop kicks that like, you know, that one person, that was like that. I felt like a drop kick in the fucking chest. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But I just felt really sorry for him, because it's just like, shit, why am I here, you know, complaining about my dad and withering away in this like self-guilt, not even self-guilt, but this hatred and whatnot for this man, when I didn't even know like his side of the story. Yeah,
and that's why I did that song too. Like, sorry to cut you off. Yeah. I mean, it's like another reason I did Heartless, because I never thought I would ever do, if I would do an album, I never thought I would do a really deep track like that. And that song is so important to me, I think, mainly because of the message that it sends. It's not even just talking about it's talking about a fictional character, but it really is talking about myself. But I'm also talking about a lot of issues that's going on today in school, in terms of, you know, people not feeling popular, people not liking themselves, and committing suicide. You know what I mean? And it's a huge problem. Peer pressure is a huge problem, and it causes these kids to do this. And the problem is, when you have a situation where no one's listening to him or her, or, you know, he can't go to the guidance counselor, or their parents are never around, they don't have any friends to talk about what's going on, this stuff happens. So it's like, and then when you literally don't feel like you have any other road, then what are you going to do? You're going to go join a gang and stuff like that. So it's like, it feels like that song was so deep, but it was so important just because of the message over it. Because when I talk about, I had a lyric on there in the very beginning of the song where it's like, because my father only came in my dreams, I guess this happiness is fiction, it just ain't what it seems. So then I basically just said, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z, I'll just let Goku teach me. That's true. Yeah. You know what I mean? I grew up with a no father, man. Like, Goku literally was my father figure when I was growing up, because that's all I did was watch Dragon Ball Z as a kid. And that was the closest thing to a father I really could really get a sense of. I didn't watch The Cosby Show. That was before my time. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, me, I watched anime. I didn't watch live television. I watched Dragon Ball Z. I watched Sailor Moon. That's the stuff I watched. So it's...
Yo... Yo, you're a real thug when you could admit that. You're a real thug. See, like, I'm gonna be honest with everybody right here. Actually, before I become honest, two things. I want to know. First thing, yo, is your mic and everything on your side like recording pretty well? You know, hopefully I'll try to like set this up. You know, so make sure like everything's being recorded pretty well. And two things, my viewers, I'm sorry that I don't have video. Unfortunately, I couldn't be in the presence of Mr. Courtney Gist at the moment, but soon I'm gonna be in New York with him. We're gonna meet up, and we'll probably do like a little like short video podcast to so everybody can see like who you are, see more of me and shit like that in the big city.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. Unfortunately, this is the best that we can do at the moment, and I really wanted to get this out there. But yeah, bro, check for me real quick. I don't care if people are listening in. Hey, it is what it is, and so I hope everything's like recording pretty well.
It's recording.
Is everything good?
Everything's good on my end.
Good?
Yep.
All right, cool. But as you were saying,
yeah, it's just that's what I grew up on, and a lot of people, they don't really like, they look at anime, cartoons and stuff. A lot of people look at that stuff.
Sailor Moon, yeah.
They look at that stuff and they're like, "Oh, it's childish" and stuff like that. No.
Yeah.
I look at it where I learned a lot of lessons when I watched certain shows growing up.
Oh, for real.
I saw a meme about this like a few years back, and it was true. It wasn't even funny. It was actually true. A lot of the shows that we watched Yu-Gi-Oh growing up, and like shows like Pokemon, right? Pokemon taught you the true meaning of friendship. You know what I mean? Like between Ash and Pikachu and his Pokemon, he was good to them and they were good to him. Yu-Gi-Oh taught you never to give up. No matter how bad things were looking and stuff like that, you never gave up in that situation. Dragon Ball Z always taught you to get your inner strength. No matter what, if you work hard and you find your inner strength, you'll be able to overcome any type of obstacle. Exactly. That's things that I learned watching these shows. Sailor Moon.
Dude, Naruto, come on.
Yeah,
everybody knows about Naruto.
Naruto is a huge motivational story. Like, if you can literally sit there, it's a great series, it's a great storyline, but there's lessons to be learned into this stuff. And when you can literally just take something out of that, and you can express yourself and you use it to express yourself, then it's not just a show anymore. It's actually motivation. And I feel like a lot of people don't look at it that way. They always look at it as a negative view. And that is another thing that I wanted to do in my album. I wanted to show that, yes, I know my stuff. I know my anime. I know my video games. But also, I'm going to show you that literally I can be very witty with my nerdiness, with my streetness, and all that stuff like that, but also show you that I have messages behind what I say. I don't do anything just to do it. And that's with anything that I ever have produced or created. There's always a reason I'm doing it, and there's always a message I'm trying to get out. So, that's just how it is. So it's like that song "Heartless" was just very, very important to me. And all the other songs were important too, but I just feel like "Heartless" has like the best message
Heartless was
to
pretty
it.
good.
It just has the best thing to it. And not to mention it's Kingdom Hearts. Who the hell does not like a Kingdom Hearts song? So,
dude, I love Kingdom Hearts, but I was gonna say it before, but like, yo, you're a real thug if you could admit that Sailor Moon was your first anime.
I don't care what anyone says. Look, I don't care what anyone says. People talk about that's a girl show. Whatever. You ain't watched fucking Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon had some real shit happening.
Sailor Moon was my first anime, dude.
Yeah, it was mine.
It was mine too. It was my first anime I ever watched. I used to watch it at my grandma's house, and I loved it. And as I got older, I thought she was really pretty. So that was me.
Well, I was always a Sailor Jupiter fan. Oh my god! To this day, I love Sailor Jupiter.
All right.
Well,
keep it in your pants, my dog. Keep it in your pants.
I digress.
But yo, man, I remember way back in the not the day, but and I guess in our days.
You're making us feel old now.
Nah, dude, I'm kind of old, kind of.
I am.
But
I'm 26.
No, you're not that old, but I remember back when we were at DMAC, you know, we were talking a lot during the podcast, and then you told me one day that you were gonna go to New York,
Yeah.
and that's what I really want to touch on because like when you came to me and talked to me about going to New York, I remember it, and I was just like, oh my God, you know, like here's my friend thinking about moving away, asking me if he should or shouldn't. And knowing me, I'm selfish in that sense, and I would want you to stay. But at that moment, I was like too fixated on what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now I'm not gonna say that I didn't care about what you did, but I knew that my words wasn't going to be good enough for you to stay here, and then ultimately you left, you know. And I said, look, bro, if it's right for you, if you feel like it's right, do your thing, and I wish you the best, and I support you all the way.
Yeah.
And you've had some, you know, trials and tribulations. I'm sure, you know. So let us know, how is that journey from when you told me like, yo, I'm going to New York versus like where you are now, like
Ooh.
what happened?
Okay, I think it's time I let everybody know what happened because I've actually kept this like really under wraps. I didn't really tell anybody what was really going on with me. I've actually been ghost a lot for the last year. Um, just starting to get myself back out there into the light. But yeah, when last time we did the podcast,
Episode 4.
yeah, episode 4, I had the thought in my head then, but I wasn't really serious about it. Because I was still, you know, finishing school and stuff, and it was in my mind that I wanted to do it, but it just wasn't that serious yet. And literally within like a month or two after we did the last show, my life basically, for lack of a better term, just spiraled out of control. I'm not really going to go into too much detail, but pretty much I lost my car. I lost my house. Like, we got evicted from where I was living. I didn't have any jobs. I was living on the street literally for a little bit. I was bouncing in between house and the hotel and everything like that for the whole year. And my life went so bad in 2016. It was just such a bad year for me. And it got to that point where I was lost. Like, I felt like I finally hit rock bottom completely because I've lost everything. Because everything, it pretty much just went into a sequence. So ever since when I lost my car, I ended up having to drop out of school. Then when I dropped out of school, I ended up losing my job. And then when I lost my job, we ended up losing our place. Then when we lost our place, I ended up sleeping on the street. Then when we ended up sleeping on the street, I ended up getting bounced from house to house to house to house, to hotel to hotel to hotel. And I did not know what I was going to do with myself. I was stuck in that mindset where I literally had nothing. I had nobody. I had nothing at all.
Holy fuck, that sounds pretty fucking scary, dude.
Like, my family showed their true colors. I think that was really the worst thing that happened to me because for a lot of people out there, and I'm very family oriented, I've always been that way. I felt like family is very important. And the fact how I grew up around these people and they always claimed that they were going to be there for me and support me and have my back, and then for them to turn on me the way that they did, that really
was pretty fucked up.
It was, but it's crazy because like I didn't take it as personally as I thought I was going to do it because I kind of already expected it. And I literally cut everybody off, man. Like, when I say cut everyone out of my life, I literally cut everything out of my life. I went ghost. I went isolated myself so bad. I got into this deep pit of depression. It was so bad. I've had this before, but this was only when I first found my first love, and then me and her broke up. This was the only time that I've ever come to that deep depression in middle school when I got bullied all the time. But this depression that I felt this time was way worse than any of that other before because, and that's why, like, again, I touch on this because the suicidal thoughts, man. I almost killed myself 2 times last year. And
Fuck,
I'm
dude.
telling that out there right now, dude. I almost did. I almost killed myself 2 times last year. The first time when when I was on the street, homeless, and I literally felt like I had nothing no more. Like I didn't want to live anymore. Like I just had nothing. I felt like I had no purpose. I felt like no one wanted me. I felt all that hatred, that pain. And literally I would never forget, I woke up on the bench. It was on 45th Street in Military. I woke up
Bro,
and
I go there all the time, bro. You
yeah.
could have called me,
I
dog. Like
trust
I
me.
was
You know what's
right
crazy? It's like
there.
I get told this all the time. Like people were telling me, like, "Yo, why didn't you call me or tell me?" But, dude, at that time, man, like you're not thinking. You know what I mean? You feel like
Yeah.
the whole world is against you. And I woke up. I'll never forget. I woke up and there was a semi truck coming, and I literally, no lie, I literally was this close to walking right in front of that semi, and something stopped me. I don't know what did, but something just stopped me, and I'll never forget. I got a phone call right as I was about to do it, and this phone call saved my life. It really did.
Oh
And it
shit.
was from my great friend Danielle. She saved my fucking life that day. Because if she hadn't called me, I would have walked in front of that semi, hands down. I would have, because it's just I had so much hatred and so much pain, and then it's just she called me, and then she was able to comfort me so much, and the things that she really helped me a lot through that struggle, and
I bet, dude.
yeah,
Damn.
she really did, man, and without her, man, I don't know where I'd
Shout
be.
outs to Danielle.
Yeah, dude, like without her, bro, I wouldn't be here today. I'll just be honest with that, man. I really would. It would have been the end of me last year, and that's why I love her. That's why I love her so fucking much, man. I words cannot describe what I feel for her. You know what I mean?
She's your good friend, and
Yeah,
you
just
do
words
everything.
cannot even
She's your ride or
describe
die.
it. And
Right.
then she talked with her mom, and what was cool is like she ended up talking with her mom, and her mom gave me a couple dollars or whatever so I can get myself into a hotel for a couple days. And I got into that hotel, and she spent the entire time with me, and she was just helping me get through this tough time, and she did. She helped me a lot, because at this time when I was so isolated, I started cutting so many people out of my life, because my problem, what I found out later, like recently, is just I had too many people that I was considered that I trusted. There was way too many people. And
Right.
you really see who's really there for you and who really isn't. And like it got to that point where me and Bruce weren't even really talking, because it's like I isolated myself. It wasn't his fault. It's just I isolated myself, and they were worried about me the whole entire time. Like my boy Bruce and my boy Ravon, they were worried about me. They didn't know what was going on with me, and I didn't want to say anything. I put myself in isolation. So that's when
Cool? Are you guys cool still?
hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because again, like I got out of that deep pit of depression. I had to get out of that first. And it was never to a point where it's just like I hated this person or I hated them. It's just I didn't really want to be around anybody. I just didn't.
Right.
I had to
I feel
isolate
you.
myself. And
I feel you.
I finally made the decision to leave to go to New York. That was when I was like, you know what, I have nothing else to lose and stuff like that. But unfortunately, and people don't know this, when I went to New York, it really wasn't the best decision for me, because I left and I lived with a cousin of mine, and I won't go into detail, but the living situation did not work, and she used to say things to me that used to belittle me as a man.
Right.
And when you have people that just say things to you that belittles you as a man, it starts messing with your psyche. It messes your psyche up, and then that's when I got into that suicidal depression again, and I almost killed myself again in New York. And again, the person who saved me from it was Danielle, because she called me every day, she talked to me and stuff like that. So it's like, without her, man, I don't even know where the hell I'd be. So,
dude, this is a perfect example why I always say, guys, if you ever have those thoughts, this is why I'm here for, and I'm gonna get really deep with you guys. I want all of you to remember this, that this podcast here is not only for me, but it is for you. It is catered to you guys that feel like that feel like, oh man, I don't have anybody around, nobody knows my struggles, this and that. I understand that I'm not in your shoes, and I wish so much that I could be there to help you out, hug you, pat your back, literally tell you, it's gonna be okay, and show you a better life, a better alternative. Because, dude, when somebody is that far gone, and when people are in that mode of depression, it eats away at you.
It
It eats
does.
away at you. You feel sad. You feel heartless. You don't care about anything. Like, I didn't care about anything when I was depressed. I was 4 years into college, doing something that I thought I wanted to do, but really was something that I wanted to do for somebody else and not for me, struggling all the time and knowing that, I'm going to fail. I'm going to be one of those people that's going to graduate but not get a job, things of that nature,
It
and it
goes through
really
your
weighed
mind.
on me.
It
It
definitely
goes through
does.
your mind, and for me, like, having that one special person to always be there for you, you got to give it up to those people. You got to give them credit,
Oh man,
because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
not even your family, your mom, your dad, like, hell, sometimes your brother, they can't always be there for you, which is a very sad thing, because nowadays I see so many kids, so many people our age, or getting become our age, that are so cynical that they just want to kill themselves.
Yeah,
So cynical that they think life is a fucking joke. And those are the type of people that really, like, I really question, that I really try to ask myself, why do they think like this? Why is this happening in their
and
life? And
it's
I try to
crazy
talk to them
because
and alleviate something,
it,
because nobody loves a depressed person. Misery loves company.
it's
Everybody has
company
heard.
definitely.
Yeah, everybody has heard that, so many times throughout their life. But it's just, I'm just so thankful, like, in my life, that I have my homie George, that I have my homie Tyler, that I got my homie Courtney, who has been through more of the shits than anybody can ever imagine, that I know. That I have these people who I can go to and really have a conversation with and really talk to, because you can't have this with your mom, you can't have this
No,
with your
you
dad,
can't.
because
You can't.
they're not with the times, they don't understand. And I feel that's what's very sad. So this also goes out to the newfound parents that just became, either mothers or fathers, or single moms or single dads. You know, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Your child will get depressed if their living circumstances and their situations around them are so terrible. And that's why you have to be that that parent figure that is, I'm going to be there for them no matter what. And if they have a problem, talk to them at an early age. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I wish my mother was there a lot of the times, but because she was a single mom and she had to work all the way down to Miami from West Palm, and all this bullshit, I was a latchkey kid, and the only thing that I had really were my friends. Even when she wasn't even when she was working in Miami, dude, all I had was myself. My grandma would be in her room. My grandpa would be in his room. I didn't have no brothers, no cousins around me. So all I had were the street kids. And let me tell you, man, even the street kids didn't like me. Why? Because I was fat. I was ugly. Like, I have pictures of me that everybody can see.
Yeah.
And I was an outcast. Now think about that. Think about this for a second. Me, Gabe, a lot of, and like, and I don't mean to boast about myself. I don't mean to be narcissistic. That's not me. But the fact is that a lot of people know who I am, and I treat people with respect. And I'm your friend, right, Courtney? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
you hate me sometimes when I beat that ass at Mortal Kombat, but
That type of fiction. I don't know what you're talking about. That has never happened. But
nah.
okay, continue.
No, but I just I didn't get to be this way. Like, I wasn't born this way. And what really saved my life was not only my friend George, but the fact that I was put into martial arts to know my self-worth, to know my confidence, to know where I stand, because nobody is going to push me the fuck over
Uh,
unless it's me. And I just want people to really realize that if you have somebody that you just trust, you know, talk to them. Make sure that whatever friend you have is that good friend, that gold friend that will, you know, go with you on your journey through life. You know, it's so important to at least have one friend. Keep your circle small, and
Oh
just
yeah,
be very humble.
I learned that lesson the hard way. It's like there was so many people last year who I really thought were down with me, but then when I had nothing, they were nowhere to be found, and that's the worst, man. Like it's the worst, but also at the end of the time, at the end of the day, it's actually a good thing because now you see who these people
You
really
weeded out all the
were,
people.
and now you know that you need to cleanse yourself of this. So at least now you have a
It's
good
like a
reason
detox.
to actually cleanse yourself and go moving forward because it's just crazy because I mean like with with everything that Danielle did for me and stuff like that, I never told her that. Like I never told her that she saved my life and stuff like that. I never, to this day, she doesn't know that. So
Right.
it's
But
just,
she's about to,
yeah, I guess the cat's out of the
hopefully.
bag. But the thing is again, like when I say that somebody means the world to me, I don't just say that about everybody, and I've always been that way. Like if I literally say that I like love you or I care about you and stuff like that, it's the truth. Like that means
It's genuine.
you've done something or you've been there for me, and it's vice versa. So
Yo, I gotta interject right there, bro, because some crazy shit actually happened to me a long time ago. Oh no, not a long time ago. Sorry, recently about that, where you and I are similar with that actually. So check this out. Apparently I'm an Aquarius, like subconsciously.
of course,
Yeah, that's why we connect,
well
bro.
I'm a legit
Because
Aquarius, but okay.
yeah, for real, because I don't know what it is, but like if you do something like for me that is like that is just so extravagant, or nothing that anybody has ever done before, and I have that love for you, I'm always gonna have that unless you fuck me over, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and then the cool thing is like just fast forward and now, like now I got my own place and I'm living in Pennsylvania now. But I'm not even gonna be staying up here in Pennsylvania. I'm actually gonna be moving next year. I just moved to Pennsylvania really just to start, just to get myself on my feet, to just find myself. It was really a pilgrimage pretty much of me moving here. So now
Where are you planning on moving?
I don't know yet. That's the thing. Like I really don't know. Right now, the top two destinations right now is Atlanta. That's the first one. That's like the top
Ooh.
one. And two, I'm thinking about. I really want to, but I just have to see how hard it would be. I want to move to California, the West Coast.
Oh no, don't move to California right now. It's
Yeah, that's why I said I'm still researching that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
I
I'm
mean,
still researching it, but it's just like I thought like just the how do I say, the opportunities would be a little bit better out there, but I'm still researching
oh
it.
yeah, for sure.
But
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just don't see myself moving back to Florida because I just hated Florida so much. So
Oh shit.
I'm being honest. Like I just don't. You never know. I might, because I'm trying to visit. I'm actually gonna be planning a trip down to Florida probably in November. So
Right.
I'm just gonna go and see a couple people, but that's really it. But other than that, like I don't see myself like living in Florida again. So right now
Right.
Atlanta's like the top one, but then I kind of didn't want to go back to the South, so I don't know. Like I have a lot of time to figure it out, and it really depends on how things go with Centurion Valley and stuff like that. And that'll really
Dude.
influence my decision of what I do.
Right. Oh, and speaking of, Centurion Valley in your books, tell us what you've been working on within that, because you just said that you're an author, you love to write, you're a storyteller, and in fact, during school, Courtney and I were working on a video game together, and unfortunately, it got canned because didn't. Uh, a lot of the people weren't at that level yet to make a video game going through school, and we just fell off
Well,
it
we
seemed
kind
like.
of
But
we did well. Remember, it was a Mugen at first, so it's like we
yeah.
tried, and then
Oh no, not that one, not that one, like an actual, like,
oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot all
yeah,
about that. I really did forget. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. You're
like the
right.
actual game.
I literally
Yeah,
forgot
and
all about
I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want it to be taken. But it's still being worked on. I still have it, in my head. It's somewhere floating around,
Yeah.
and it was just, oh man, that's how like really Courtney and I really became friends. And I want to know, Courtney, your experience with DMAC, bro. Actually, no, shit. What am I doing?
I was gonna say,
Todd's
do you
Todd,
really want me to
Todd,
talk about DMAC right now?
no, 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 well, no, no, no. I want you to talk about your books, and then we could talk about DMAC because, like, every day, okay, every passing day that I wake up, I always think about
Let's
DMAC, and
talk
in
about
fact, I'm going.
DMAC first. You know what? Let's just
Oh,
get that out the way.
well, I'm going to DMAC tomorrow actually for an internship,
Oh, that's
and like,
cool.
yeah, dude, and I'm working on some video game props, and I like, okay, now that I have a break and I can breathe and shit like that, I love what I do now. Like, I want to get in on ZBrush and fucking sculpt all that out,
Oh,
and
ZBrush. Love-hate
and I
relationship with me.
and I want to like go in Maya and fucking texture something, or what am I talking about? Yo, I get slapped by the fucking game artist gods if they heard me texturing in Maya this noob, you know.
Yeah.
No, but I like now that I have a newfound appreciation for my video game art and like the skills that I have, and the talent that's behind it. It's making me, like I said, appreciate it more and making me want to do it more. That initial step. But hey, man, if you want to talk about DMAC, bro, let's
We'll
go.
just get that
Unless
out
you
the
want to
way.
talk about your books.
We'll just get that out the way because like my stories are gonna take a while. But
I love
DMAC.
your stories, bro.
Here's the thing. I appreciate that, man. But basically, my view on DMAC is this: it's not a bad school, but
No, it's not a bad school.
it's a very one-sided school. And what I mean by that is, I personally feel that DMAC doesn't really put as much what's the word I'm looking for? Support into the computer animation program as they do the graphic designers. I feel like the graphic designers, the way that their curriculum is set up, I feel like the actual professors, the labs that they have, the tutoring and everything like that, it's more designed to help the graphic designers. In computer animation, our curriculum is all over the place. Like, one time we'll have a Adobe Photoshop class, and then we'll immediately go into Maya, and then we'll have 8 general education courses without even touching Maya for about 2 months, and then they want you to go back into Maya and
we're
remember
expected
everything,
to.
they just expect you to remember everything. And with graphic design, you don't see that. Graphic design, they really make sure that they take their time of when they pick your schedule, because they want to make sure that, yes, you're completing your general education courses, but at the same time you're still brushing up on your skills, so you're never out of Illustrator, InDesign. You're not out of those programs for so long where you get to that point where you pick up that tablet, the Wacom tablet, or your mouse or something like that, you don't even know what you're doing. So it's like, I feel like that's the biggest problem I had with it. And I feel like the way that it was set up, it's designed for a lot of failure, and I don't think that that's right necessarily, because computer animation is such a beautiful field if it's taught correctly. If it's, as long as the curriculum is put out there and you have a certain guideline to stick to, a lot more people would have graduated from that program. But unfortunately, it's not. Like, we don't hear anything about internships. We didn't have really any seminars come up. Graphic designers were getting that left and right. They were getting sent off to different sites. They were getting in tune with potential internships in their second year. We didn't even hear about internships until your third or fourth year when you're trying to finish. Game Jam and stuff like that, they just started doing that. And not to mention the thing about...
Actually, it's not even there anymore.
Oh, and it was crazy about Game Jam is that was a lot of students from other schools. You know what I mean? It wasn't even just our school. So it's like, not to mention, then another thing that really really peeved me one day was, I don't know if you were there for that, Gabe, but they were doing a job fair at our school for internships. So like they had big studios that were in South Florida looking for potential interns. So basically it was a time to show off your portfolio and basically set that up for yourself. Now, what I didn't like is, I'm thinking like, okay, this is for internships. This should just be strictly for DMAC students. No, they kept it open to the public, so there was people that didn't even go to our school that were there that were getting internships over the students. That's unfair, if you
That's
ask me.
fucked up.
Yeah, like
And
we're paying tuition. Why are these people who have not even attended school, they're getting our internships? That's not right.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, and I just want to make things clear. You know, Courtney and I have like different opinions on DMAC, and we also have similar opinions on other things on DMAC. Um, Obviously, Courtney, you learned a lot from DMAC. You know that you could take away,
Yeah,
and
definitely,
obviously I,
definitely.
and obviously like I did. You know, I'm still doing what I'm doing. If not, that I wouldn't be in this internship. I felt like this since I recently got out of DMAC. I've been there for 4 years, and I got out of DMAC, and I felt like I was personally targeted by certain professors. Of course, those professors then talked to me, and I'm like, okay, you know, I get it because like I get what the employees are doing because obviously they have to eat. This is their like this is their livelihood, and you know, and this is how they get paid. And I get it. And by the way, you know, if any of professors are listening, I'm not trying to bash you guys. You guys are the reason why I freaking love my Wacom. Like you guys are the reason why when I wake up and see my Wacom, I fucking hate it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but I look forward to wanting to sculpt, to wanting to learn Maya. Now,
And that goes the same for me
there's
too. Like I'm not trying to bash any professors or anything like that because I had
right,
plenty of professors that I love to this day and I
exactly
owe a
that are
lot to.
OP,
Yeah, that I
that
owe a
are
lot
OP,
to when I
dude.
was there. So
Is exactly, you know, and it's just I I'll say this: all the professors there, they know their shit like the
yes,
back
they
of their
do.
hand, and because of you guys, when people ask me about how to make a video game or how what goes in no literally how like what goes into a video game or the game art, I tell them straight up. I tell it like how it is because in this world there's no cookie cutter shit,
Nope.
and I know I'm going at this podcast in a different approach, kind of like a more assertive, I guess like fiery approach. But I just want everybody to understand, like DMAC in its last couple of months for me was the saddest thing I've ever had to endure because I felt like I left a lot of people behind because this was when graduation for all the other students were happening. It's funny. I left when everybody was
Oh, and I
graduating.
cried on that day.
Literally,
I legit
dude,
cried. I'm not even gonna front, dude.
dude
I cried
I'm,
when
I'm,
my class that I was supposed to graduate with, when they graduated and I didn't graduate, I was so upset.
dude, I was upset too, and it got me so upset, so pissed off. And it's like I have to go back and accomplish it because here's the thing. I'm very friend oriented, and I love all the people around me. Now, I had a dream one night where it was six of my friends, or let's say eight of my friends. There was four on my left and four on my right, and it was like a dark room. And then I saw them, and like you know, they were all looking at me, and all of a sudden, one of them, one after the other, just started disappearing, like kind of like a grainy sand mist.
Yeah.
They were all disappearing, and at that moment, I was just like, damn, you know, I have to really, I have to really get my shit together. I really have to, you know, get going. You know, I'm gonna miss my friends when they graduate. That was the foreshadow of them graduating, and it hurts till this day because I know that I can't be with them, but it makes them happy to know that I'm pursuing something that I like to do, which is editing, and then like still pursuing the graphic design, the computer animation, and game art, which I feel so relieved because I talked to my mentors.
Hmm.
You know, I talked to Carlos Duenas. I talked to Rashid, yeah, Jatib. I talked to all these people. I talked to Mike Santowski. You know, and you guys are like my mentors, and it makes me feel like shit knowing that I can't show you guys what I'm capable of
You know what?
at that
I'm
moment.
gonna actually
What's
address
up?
something on the show, and I have never ever said this, so I hope Carlos is listening. Carlos, I'm sorry for being a complete dick to you when we first met. I'm not gonna lie, I was a complete dick to Carlos, and there's a reason why.
Why you gotta be a dick to Carlos,
Okay,
bro?
there's a
Carlos
reason.
OP.
There's a reason, and I don't want to go into detail, but I've been feeling so bad about that because Carlos is like the nicest guy on the planet, and like when I first met Carlos, I was kind of a dick to him. Like he would try to talk to me, I would ignore him and stuff, but it was just because of a certain situation that happened with a certain person that he was messing with at the time. Like in terms of he was
I feel you.
yeah, and then like I kind of really like I was told things about him that made me like villainize him, and it's just like I really didn't get a chance to actually like get his side of the story. But then like closer to like the end, I started really like actually talking to Carlos and stuff like that. So that's why I just wanted to say, Carlos, man, I'm sorry, man. I admire your work, man. Your work is amazing. It's always been amazing, not to mention the things that you did with trying to push 2D animation getting put onto the curriculum and stuff like that. I remember that.
Oh yeah,
I
for
remember
sure, for
that.
sure.
So it's like he's done a lot for that school, and he just basically does so much for people. He's just a good person, and you know, it's
a
just
genuine good guy.
yeah. So it's like if anyone out there needs anything done, ask Carlos, man. He will give you professional grade work, and just overall just a nice guy.
If he's not working for like Bungie or Nintendo or some shit, or working for
just
Oni
shout out to
G,
Carlos,
or working
man.
with Oni
Shout out
G,
to Carlos.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Shout out to all like the mentors out there. To be honest,
I had
you know
beef with so
that have
many
helped
people in
me.
school that they don't even know to this day I had beef with. Oh my.
Damn, bro. Well, let's not trying to get into
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
You
gonna
know,
get into
because
that, but I just that I
it's
just wanted to say for the record, like, you know, Carlos, you are appreciated here,
right.
man. Yeah.
But for the record, did you have like a fun time at DMAC, or
Hell
you
yeah,
know,
it
be
was
honest?
college, man. It was college, dude. We had some wild ass times, like we just did, and
Right.
yeah, I miss my boy Irving and I miss my boy David. Like I miss, that was my oh my god, those were my squad right there. Like
Dude, they miss you.
I know they tell me
When
that
I
all
was
the
there, they
time.
talked about you.
They tell me that all the
They
time.
did.
Like I keep in contact with them and stuff like that every now and then. They want me to come back. Everyone, it's funny. Everybody wants me to come back to Florida. So many people they're saying they want me to come back, but you know, like I said, I'm gonna come back to visit. But the thing is, we had so many damn good times and it's just so much fun, and we got into so much trouble that no one knows about, which that shall remain hidden. So let's just say our squad has gotten into some pretty reckless things when we were at DMAC. Let's just say that, and we lived to tell the tale. So
Yeah.
you know, just shout out to the squad, man. That's it.
Shout out to the squad. You know, dude, I'm actually happy to go back to DMAC tomorrow, and like, you know, I'm happy to work. I'm happy to work at DMAC and work for a common goal.
Do me a favor though when you go back tomorrow, and I already know everyone who goes to DMAC, they're gonna get on my case about this, but you know how I feel about this, and I said this when I went there. Smash is not a fighting game. For the last 100th time,
oh my
I'm starting that
god,
on the
this
podcast.
guy.
I don't care. It's not a legitimate fighter. I don't care.
This guy.
I don't care. I've been trying to say that, like, oh my god, like me.
No, dude.
Me and David had
people have
so
been
much
playing
beef.
Tekken.
Oh my god, we had so much beef
Dude,
with Smash players when we were there.
Lately, people have been playing Tekken. Well, probably like Smash always goes on.
They
man.
always play
But
Smash.
like lately, like I said, like people have been playing Tekken and then like some other shit. But see, I haven't really noticed because I've just been working, and getting my shit done.
Yeah.
Being good at what I'm being good at. You know, so I have no time for that, and it goes to show, and I'm just happy to like really go there, sit with my my teammates, sit with my peers, and say, all right, guys, it's time. to get this shit rolling. Let's get this game going and
Hell
really
yeah.
complete it, because because like, yes, the credit is great and I can intern anywhere with that credit, but the fact of the matter is getting a game out and getting a quality game and learning as you go. And I feel like that's like the best thing that this internship had to offer for me. And even though I'm not going, and I'm still welcome there,
You're
everybody,
still an alumni though. Like you, like if I could go to DMAC right now and
no,
it would be all good. So
actually you have to graduate first.
man, I don't know. Like I've always had that one opinion. Like if you actually went there and for a good amount of time, you still are kind of an alumni. So
Shit, then I'd be a super alumni. I'd be
I
a
don't
super
know. I
alumni,
guess I'm
dude.
wrong, but I mean, shout out to DMAC, man.
You're,
Like they gave me some of the best years of my life. So
hell yeah, you met some of the best people. If you didn't
definitely.
go to DMAC, you wouldn't have met me. You would have been on this show
Exactly.
twice.
Exactly. Like I
Twice,
don't
my
know.
dog.
I don't know what I would have did if I didn't go, because I would have met so many amazing people. So
Exactly.
that's just it.
Exactly. Oh man, like to be able to be able to talk to you again and like about all the things that have been happening in your life. Like I'm sure that shit has hit the fan on one too many occasions, and even with me, as I said in my other podcast, I gained like so much weight. I done this, I done that. I almost killed myself
Yeah.
because of like the stresses of life in general. Like, is this art thing going to work out for me? And I really had to really step away and really realize what I needed to do. And I've been doing so much better for myself, Courtney.
And I'm proud of you,
amazing.
man. I want to say that, man. I'm proud of you that you
Aw.
didn't allow that darkness to consume you, because so many people
No,
do
I
that.
did for 4 years though, but I didn't let it consume
It didn't
me
consume you.
to-
It just trapped you for a while. That was what it did.
Exactly.
Think about it.
I was like Riku kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda and shit.
You're in purgatory. You were in purgatory, but you didn't fully pass on. That was it.
Dude, it fucking sucked. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, because being depressed is some of the worst feelings ever.
Believe me,
And
I know you were preaching to the choir, and that's why I want to actually just close off with the toxic depression and stuff like that with this. I understand why people do what they do, and then that's why I get so upset when people make fun of that and people talk about, oh, they're just mentally weak. People who say that about people who are suicidal have never experienced suicidal thoughts, so they would not know what passes through that person's brain. Now,
right.
one thing that I can say though is suicidal thoughts are very selfish. And
oh my god, you just read my fucking mind.
I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm not saying even though suicide is a bad thing, but it's like,
yeah. Let me know your thoughts about this,
Yeah.
because I want to tell you. I want to tell everybody my thoughts about it, but it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
Go
what
on,
I
John.
feel like suicide, I can do it just because I've been there before, where I've almost pulled that trigger, I've almost done it. So it's like when you're in that mode where literally you feel so hollow that you feel like you're just walking and you don't even feel like you're actual person. You know what I mean? It's literally you are heartless, honestly. You're walking, you feel so empty in yourself, and you feel like literally like you're just a vessel that just is being wasted. That's what you feel like. And you immediately just start thinking like, okay, when you start feeling that way now you don't even think about the people who your death would actually affect. That's why I say it's kind of selfish in a way, because you always think that no one wants you around and stuff like that, but you really don't find out who truly cared about you, because everyone's not vocal about how much they care about you. That's the thing that you gotta be careful about.
Nowadays they don't.
A lot of people are just not
nowadays
vocal about it. It's not that they don't care, it's that they're just not vocal about it. And when you take your life away, then that's when you really see who actually truly cared about you. Now you put this pain into their heart that now they're gonna start thinking, well, damn, there was something I could have did. It's my fault. Damn, I should have talked to this person more. I should have did this. I should have did that, and stuff like that. Now that your pain has become their pain now, and it's like
Right.
you're punishing them for you feeling the way that you felt, and that's why it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So that's why I say to anyone ever going through those thoughts, you have those thoughts, if you ever feel like that no one is going to miss you, you are sadly mistaken, because at the end of the day, we all have a mother, we all have a father, and I don't care if you don't talk, I don't care if you don't interact, I don't care if you don't know this person, that's going to hit them very hard that they lost their child. Or
Dude,
you've been around
very much
other
so.
people, you've been around other people who you talk to every single day, or they've seen you every single day. You don't think that that's going to affect them knowing that you're just not there anymore? It will. So just think that it's not necessarily no one wants you and stuff like that. It's just people aren't very vocal about it. It's not that they don't care. It's just, again, it's like they just don't want to, voice it, because they want you to move on in a positive note. They feel like if you talk about it too much, you're going to keep yourself into that state of depression. That's why it is important to communicate if you're feeling that way, but only with a select few. You know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
it's
The
very
people that
important.
you trust.
Exactly. So
People.
it's like, but never ever feel that you're not wanted, or no one's gonna miss you or anything like that, because at the end of the day, that burden of losing somebody, and you feel like everyone, and it's just natural, people are going to feel that way automatically. They're going to feel like, damn, was there anything I could do? And that is the worst thing to have on your conscience, is you feel like you could have saved someone's life and you feel you failed them. And
Bro, like,
yeah,
holy shit, dude. There are times where people haven't really even committed suicide, but it's like old friends that I see, and they just go down rock bottom, and they're in the shits, whether it be in jail, selling drugs, doing this and that, and it makes me hurt. It makes me feel so
I'll never
sad
do it
within
ever again,
myself.
man. Like I've already experienced rock bottom. I feel like I have a philosophy: when you experience rock bottom one time in your life and you can survive it, you'll never allow yourself to get into that pit of darkness ever again. You'll never. You may come close,
Dude,
but you'll
I would
never
ever.
allow yourself to go back to that, because it is such a dark
Dude,
thing.
I
And a
I
dark
promised
feeling.
myself. Dude, I promised myself that I would never ever let myself get into that dark, deep depression that I was when I was in DMAC, because a lot of not even a lot of people, dude. There was one person, two people actually, two people who actually gave a fuck about my life, about my well-being, and it wasn't my mom, and it wasn't my dad, it wasn't my grandma, it wasn't my aunts, wasn't my uncles. It was just my friends,
Yeah.
my homie George and my homie Rashid. And don't get me wrong, dude. I cry all the fucking time, real
And there's
tears
nothing wrong
of
with a man crying, by
anxiety,
the way. Like, there's
fear.
a lot of
No,
macho
but
people out there that think
yeah,
like men aren't supposed to cry. There's nothing wrong with it, man. You gotta let that shit out. Let it out. Don't be afraid to show your emotions.
exactly, dude. It's just it's pain leaving the body.
Yeah.
And trust me, dude. I think about this stuff. When I get deep into my thought, I think about, oh man, what am I gonna do if my mom passes away, and that gets me, full of anxiety. What am I gonna do if my mentors pass away? That gets me full of anxiety. So I try to spend as much time with them,
Yeah.
as much as possible, because I know they're not going to be there for me, when they leave for California, when they get their jobs, their families and whatnot. But the fact that I'm there with them in the moment, and being in their presence and making them happy, and just making them proud. That's what I want. I strive off of proudness, because not a lot of people were proud of me back in the day. Now that I think about it, I like my like I was the type of person that a lot of people weren't proud of. And I could honestly say, like,
Same.
my mom would my mom would always say, "Son, I'm proud of you." I never felt it, and it
Same here.
hurts.
Same here.
It hurt. It hurts, because it's just, you don't feel like it's genuine. At times.
Yeah, they just say
You
it
don't
because it's
feel
just like,
like
whatever,
it's
you're in school, so I'm proud of you. Yeah, like, it's just,
It's
I know exactly what you
exactly,
mean. I know exactly what you mean.
and there are certain times of sincerity that really goes through and it really pierces you. And it's just like, damn, I actually made a difference, and I
Yeah.
want that. I want to make a difference in each and every individual that I come across because, it's a rare opportunity for someone to give a fuck about you. It's a rare
Yeah, it
opportunity,
is,
I
because
feel
at the
like,
end of the day,
you know,
everybody
be,
worries about themselves,
exactly, and it's not always a bad thing.
and it's not a bad thing.
Sometimes,
No,
yeah, sometimes you have to owe it to yourself to worry about you, so that when
that's a
you're
problem I have
fixed,
with
you can go
myself.
out to fix other people.
That's really a problem I have to this day in myself. Like, I focus more on other people's problems than I do myself, and
Dude, same here.
yeah,
I worry about too much. I worry about other people way too much. But see, it's worrying about people way too much and worrying about the right people
exactly.
just enough.
Exactly. Like me, like I would say, like for my friend Danielle, I would do anything for her. I don't even care. It's if you need a damn liver, I will give it to you. I don't care. Like there's just certain people that I would do anything for, and that's
Right.
why like I was thinking about like I was talking about the suicide thing. It's like I can't even imagine what that would have did to her if I would have did that. You know what I mean? I
Exactly.
can't even imagine how she would feel
You
if
can't
I did
fathom
that.
that.
Or even with Bruce or Vaughn, David Irving, I don't know what that would have did to them. It just don't. And that's just the thing you want to talk about. And that's what, again, why I make my stories, man. My stories are just that escape. And that's why I want to do that, because I want to give somebody some enjoyment out there. And I want them to read something that
Right.
I produced and actually feel good about themselves.
So do you feel like your stories, Centurion Valley and tattoos, do you feel like those actually help people out or
Yes, I do. Mainly because one thing that I do with all of my stories is I put a message, and I kind of said that earlier when I was talking about Game On when I did that album. Uh, Everything I do, there's a message behind it. It's never too subliminal. I always try to make it a little bit out there and stuff. But yes,
right?
um, Centurion Valley, as people really know, because I went over it in the last podcast. It's on the surface, it's an action comedy, but the show itself is way deeper than that. It really shows a lot of the problems that true high schoolers go through: peer pressure, feeling like you're the popular one, and it takes a different spin because my main character Jacob, he's popular. He's very popular. He's well known. He's liked by everybody because he's a star quarterback. I mean, he's a star wide receiver. But he hates that attention. He does not like being popular. He's actually the complete opposite of people who want to be popular. He doesn't like the attention. He doesn't really do it. The only reason he even plays football is because like he just did it just to pass time. And he's just really, and he battles with that. And the fact of the matter is, like, his biggest hero, his mom, is never really around because she works all the time. So that takes a toll on you. It just does.
Right.
And a lot of people can relate to that just because we've all been there in terms of we feel that school has to be now our new life because at home our parents are not even there because they're gone. So like when we go to school, we have to work so hard to making that our life instead of that. And even with Veronica, like of course, we're not all genetically experimented super soldiers or whatever. We're not like that. We're mercenaries, but you can still feel the pain from her side too. It's just like,
Right.
what is the farthest you would do to protect your family? What would you do to just make sure that your son or your child has the life that you never could have growing up? Like, how far would you go? And what would you
Right,
do?
dude. I'd invest. I invest in everything that I could to give my family the best life possible, whether be it me alive or dead. When I'm gone.
Exactly. So it's like, and then Centurion Valley, we tackle a lot of things, like a lot of topics. The season, that's why I'm hoping, like, if I can get a chance to get picked up, season one, it's gonna have an episode where it's gonna be a comedic. It's gonna be a very funny episode, but it's gonna tackle a lot. There's gonna be an episode, and I'll actually say it. Whatever, I don't care. There's an episode where the quarterback, because Jacob and his friend Skip are best friends. Skip is the quarterback for the football team, and of course Jacob
Right.
is a wide receiver. So Skip comes up with the bright idea. He's always getting Jacob into trouble all the time. So he comes up with the bright idea is like he wants to go to this house party and stuff like that so they can try to go see their old teammate that used to play for their school, but he had to move away because they couldn't afford it anymore. And when Jacob was like, he knows who it is, but he was like, where does he live now? They go to Compton, actually, because the story, like, their school is in California.
It's based out of Cali.
It's based out of Cali. So Skip decides to go to his house party that he's throwing in Compton. So Jacob, of course, is like really hesitant, like, no, hell no, I'm not going to Compton. Are you serious? No, I'm not going out there. And then he ends up getting talked into it, and Jacob's more afraid of just like his mom finding out about it and stuff like that. But of course, Skip talks him into it. He's like, look, your mom's not going to find out. She's gone all the time. Little does he know that Veronica actually has a lot of ties to know what he's doing, but that's another thing. So they end up going, they go to Compton, and basically I have it where as soon as they step foot in Compton, it's completely different than where they just left. Because in the Valley, where they're at, it's suburban, it's rich, it's very polished, you know, very nice. Now they're going into the gritty, the hood, and everything like that. So, like, I have this sequence where they're driving through Compton, and they're passing by blood and Crip territories and stuff like that. You know, they're seeing the prostitution, they're seeing just drugs everywhere and stuff like that. And then they finally make it to the actual house party, and they meet up with their good old friend, and Jacob just starts talking to him. He's like, yo, man, like, why did you guys move? And he was like, my mom, she lost her job and she couldn't afford it anymore, so we had to move down here to Compton, and she works 2 jobs. And I'm trying to still get a scholarship to school to hopefully get to college and stuff, because I'm still the best in my school. But then he finds out that his old teammate is thinking about dropping out of school to help his mom pay the bills. And that hit him so hard, because it's just like, Jacob's just like, damn, well, I come from, basically, I don't have to worry about anything. My mom pays for everything that we need. And that's when he gets that taste of reality of just like, everyone doesn't have it as good as you. You know what I mean? And it really messes with him. And it literally gets to that point where it hits him so much that he eventually, I'm not going to spoil what happens in the episode about the chaos that happens at the party, but he eventually goes to his mom. And he tells his mom, his mom knows everybody on the team, because she's always kept in contact. She always made sure that she stayed close, and she knew exactly who he was. And she even asked, like, what happened to him. And Jacob's telling Veronica the story and everything like that. Now, on the outside, you think of Veronica as the sadistic killer and everything like that. You think of her, she's ruthless and everything like that. But this is when you really see the true side of her. And Jacob tells her his situation. So Veronica secretly calls in a couple favors for the president of the United States, who she's always doing missions for, and basically gets his mom a big-time government job that pays so well. And then basically Veronica takes some of her earnings and buys them a house. Literally does that for them, so they can get out of Compton and come back to the Valley.
Yo, that's sick. That's like something that I would do for a homie that, you know, that's like so fucked up in the projects or something like that. You know, I strive to, you know, help people out where they can, you know, and I can't wait for that to come out. You know, I would love to be a part of that, honestly. Hey guys, what's up? I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast so far. I know I promised you guys that you will get astrological readings, and here it is. I'm only going to do 4 astrological readings through each podcast. So I want to say like 4 a week. If you want to know more about yourself, if your birthday, if I say your birthday, please comment down below your birthday or message me on Facebook. So to get started, July 19th. So anybody in July 19th, I was born under July 19th, it goes like this. Idealism and generosity are often associated with your birthday and endow you with compassionate understanding and a tender heart. As a Cancerarian, please excuse the way I pronounce things, you are sensitive and highly intuitive. Although you are often full of wonderful ideas, a tendency to worry may undermine your determination and self-esteem. This frequently suggests that positive thinking combined with imagination is your key to balance and inner peace. The sub-influence of your decadent ruler Pisces implies that you are impressionable with a strong sixth sense. Since you are receptive to color and sound, you may be artistically inclined or find music to be a calming influence. By taking everything as a learning experience, you can overcome a tendency to become frustrated and impatient. Through being broad-minded and tolerant, you realize the infinite possibilities that are available to you. Charming, friendly, and adventurous, with a need for close relationships, you often have an active social life. Since you need inspiration to explore your true mental potential, education or self-knowledge is advisable. This suggests that your abundance of feelings and mental creativity need to be channeled or find ways of self-expression. Before the age of 3, when your progressed sun moves into Leo, you are inclined to be shy and sensitive. The strong Leo influence increases over the next 30 years, enabling you to grow in strength and confidence. After the age of 33, when your progressed sun moves into Virgo, you are likely to bring more patience and perfectionism to your talents and skills. At the age of 63, when your progressed sun moves into Libra, you experience a turning point that emphasizes the growing importance of your social and personal relationships, as well as increasing your appreciation of beauty and harmony. Alright, so July 19th, if you like what you heard and you want to know more, I have a whole list of things right here for you, and this goes along with all the other birthdays. So it is your secret self, your work and vocation, your numerology, and last but not least, your love and relationships. And also we can go over your special someone. So if you would like for me to do that, please message me, comment down below on YouTube, and I will get to that. Alright, moving on to the next birthday. So July 20th. The vitality and drive indicated by your birthday are often subdued by your friendly smile and charming personality. As a Cancerarian, you are idealistic and intuitive with strong determination and a powerful mind. The sub-influence of your decadent ruler Pisces suggests that you are imaginative with a sense of vision and the ambition to achieve your dreams. Inspired and practical, you enjoy a mental challenge, but in your attempt to test your wits and intelligence, you can also become moody or stubborn. Your potential for success depends on power and knowledge, and the more learned you become, the more focused you will be. There is a need to establish peace of mind and a firm foundation through a set of values and beliefs. Secure in your knowledge of what you believe and hold dear, you can accomplish and achieve. You are harmonious by nature, and your sensitivity implies that being receptive to your immediate environment, you may need a positive atmosphere in order to flourish and thrive. Conversely, disharmony often brings out the worst in you, and when you find yourself in confrontational situations, you may succumb to power games or arguments. Nevertheless, you benefit from developing a diplomatic approach, and with your persuasive thinking and speech, can often convince others to change their minds. From the age of 2 until 32, while your progressed sun is in the sign of Leo, you have many opportunities
Many opportunities to use the sociable and dramatic side of your personality. Whether at work or socially, you learn to become more posed and self-assured. There is a change of emphasis after the age of 32 when your progressed sun moves into Virgo. After this period, you will be inclined to be more orderly, practically motivated, and businesslike. At the age of 62, you experience another turning point as your progressed sun moves into Libra, emphasizing your social life, relationships, and opportunity to develop any latent artistic or literary talents. Alright, awesome. Moving on to the next one. I want to keep this somewhat short so you guys don't get too bored and continue on with the podcasting. July 21st. Receptive and intuitive, with an ambitious and resourceful character, you are revealed by your birthday to be a creative and astute personality. Your curiosity and understanding of what motivates others suggests that you are quick at assessing people and situations. As a Cancerian, you are sensitive with a shrewd mind and good mental potential. Nevertheless, at times, worry and skepticism imply that you may need to learn to trust your first instincts. Since you like to be mentally occupied and well-informed, education or self-directed learning can help you develop your fine mind as well as your confidence. The sub-influence of your decadent ruler Pisces empowers you with imagination and physical ability, often autonomous, with a need to accomplish. You possess depth of thought and could develop your analytical skills. If inspired, you are usually adaptable and can cope with every situation. By developing a responsible attitude and remaining resolute, you never feel like a victim of destiny. Your need to alternate between the conventional and the avant-garde implies that your individuality and creativity need some form of self-expression. Lack of mental stimulation, however, can cause a nervous disposition and bring on your tendencies to be quarrelsome or stubborn. Since your sun progresses into Leo during the first year of your life, there are early opportunities in childhood to develop strength, creativity, and self-expression. Your increasing confidence is likely to continue until the age of 30, when your focus will change to a more pragmatic and irrational approach, with a growing desire for an orderly life. At the age of 60, there is another turning point in your progressed sun enters in Libra. This highlights the growing importance of relationships, your social circle, and an appreciation of beauty and harmony. And July 22nd, which is the final birthday that I'm going to do for the week, and then it's going to progress into Leo. July 22nd. As your birthday lies on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, you are sensitive, yet as assertive, with an ambitious nature. Usually sociable, with your amiable personality is likely to exude a magnetic presence that can win you friends and influence others. Yes. Quietly forceful and direct, you are able to advance by the sheer power of your persistence. Clever and considerate, you are a natural strategist and can combine your exceptionally perceptive mind with your practical abilities to make your dream a reality. If you find a subject of interest that can capture your imagination, follow your heart and do not allow anxiety and worry to undermine your great potential. Imaginative and competitive, you have the ideas that can make you money, and since you are versatile with many interests, you need to be organized in order to make full use of your abilities. Your desire for information often makes you very knowledgeable in your chosen field, while being verbally persuasive can give you a certain prestige. In the pursuit of your ambitious in the pursuit of your ambitions, guard against becoming overly serious, which often causes you unnecessary stress. Up to the age of 29, your progressed sun is in Leo. This emphasizes your creativity and sociability. After the age of 30, when your progressed sun moves into Virgo, you become more analytical, methodical, and orderly. The more practical perfectionism changes at the age of 60 when your progressed sun moves into Libra and you become more aware of your personal relationships and the need for harmony. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little segment of astrological readings. I really hope you want to see more or know more about yourself and or others. So drop a like, message me if you want to know more. So without further ado, please continue the show and hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.
Jacob's white. He's a white guy, and his friend was black, and he doesn't even look at color. He doesn't look at race. He's just looking at it for his friend. Like, that's his friend. Like, when you're on a football team, like a high school football team, I've never played on a high school football team, but I've been around people who's been on it, and they say it's like a brother. It's a brotherhood with them. You know, you're in the trenches and stuff like that. Every game is like you play it like it's your last. So the fact that he saw that and that was all he thought about, and he didn't even think his mom, again, he's thinking that his mom still works for the president and stuff like that, but his mom just did that out of the kindness of her heart as well. Like, she didn't have to do that either, but she knows like that struggle, and she knows that she would do anything to make sure that Jacob had the life that he deserved and everything like that. So it's like she knows, like, hey, if I can help out somebody, I'm gonna do it.
They want to check that out. But um, before we end this off, tell us a little bit about tattoos, man. That's your little secret project that's gonna.
Oh man.
Let's get a quick rundown of tattoos.
Tattoos. Okay. So tattoos. I'm not gonna give much, but I'll go over to a little bit. Okay, so basically, tattoos takes place in a post-apocalyptic setting, United States, and basically how it works in the world is, all the beings in the world at the age of 13, they develop this mark or tattoo that automatically appears on their body. Now, when this thing appears on your body, you're immediately giving a certain ability. And it could be something really, really big as like an elemental power, or it could be something as small as like enhanced perception. You're really good with numbers or something like that, or, you know, hand-to-hand coordination. Something as little as that. So that's how it is in the world and stuff like that. Now, in this post-apocalyptic world, basically, the superpowers of the world have killed each other off pretty much and left each other to fend for themselves. So basically, in the wake of the murder of all of the superpowers, this group of individuals called the Order basically took over. And they basically took over what we know as the wasteland, and basically they decided to run it themselves as basically a encampment and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people don't like that, so you had a lot of people who were considered loyalists, and they built what we call loyalty camps. Loyalty camps are basically, they're just camps where you raise everybody in the camp to serve the Order. You're eventually, as soon as you're of age, as soon as you turn 13, you find out your ability, you can immediately leave the loyalty camp and you're sent off to the academy to actually be able to fight for the Order and stuff like that. Now, the other people are in the wasteland are the rebel groups. The rebel groups basically have switched out, and they basically have one goal, and that's to overthrow the Order. But the problem is there's a power struggle. All these rebel groups, they don't get along with each other. There's three rebel groups. There's the rebels to the east, there's the rebels to the west, and there's the rebels to the north. They all want to basically kill the other rebel group so then they can basically go after the order. Exactly, so they can go after the order themselves. Now, in the order, there's one leader, and he's called the Supreme. The Supreme is never hardly ever seen. No one really knows what he looks like. No one knows about him. They just know he exists. And he's the one that makes all the decisions for the order. But basically he's the strongest and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit how these tattoos work. Now, what makes this thing so special is the way tattoos work is, say if I have a tattoo that gives me fire, right? And Gabe, you have a tattoo that says you have electricity. I kill you using my power. So I burn you to death. As soon as I kill you using my ability from my tattoo, your tattoo disappears from your body and automatically comes to me now. So basically now I have fire and I have electricity. So now basically the more tattoos you have, the more powerful you are. And then there's that,
or the more people you kill.
Exactly. It basically is a momentum, but the thing is, people look at that and now there's that power struggle, because now people are like, oh, I want to be so strong and stuff like that, because the Supreme has tattoos all over his body. So there's so many people he's killed, he's so powerful and everything like that. Now that's just going into the world a little bit. Now I'm going to go into the main characters. There's two main characters that I really have. Well, actually really one main character, and then Jackson's more of like a side, like he's like Sasuke in Naruto. Like he's a main character, but he's considered a side. But
right.
So basically, you have Grayson, who's the main character, and you have Jackson. They were brought up in the loyalty camps. The loyalty camps, they're basically, ever since they were started when they were kids and stuff like that, they were just taught, you serve the order, you're gonna serve them, do whatever they say, you're gonna go to the academy. So that's what they always were like. Grayson was always pro order, and Jackson was always kind of like, I like the order, but I still want to be able to have a choice. So there was always like a little bit of tension between those two in terms of that. Now, with Jackson's family, his sister left and went into the wastelands, and no one ever heard from her ever again. So Jackson actually has the goal to go out into the wastelands and find her, because he knows that she didn't go to the order, she just went out into the wastelands and no one ever heard from her again. Grayson, on the other hand, he just wants to go join the order to make his mother and his father proud, who actually left him in the loyalty camp when he was a baby, so he never met them. But he knows like what they want for him. So basically, they go and they finally get off. They turn 13 now. Grayson has this special tattoo that's rare, and it only comes once every generation. It's actually part of. I have 4 of these great tattoos. They're called the God's power
deity tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. He has what they call the God's might tattoo. Now, God's might tattoo is considered to have all raw strength of God himself. Now, but no one ever really knows what it does. That's the thing. There's only been stories about what this tattoo does, because it comes by like once in every generation. It's very rare. So he's still trying to learn what's going on, but that also makes him a target, because people know, like, that's why they wanted him to go to the order, because he has this potential strength. He can't go into the wastelands because the rebel groups will just try to kill him and stuff like that. So that's why he has to go to the order and everything like that. So they end up going to the academy, but then they end up finding out that the order isn't what they see. There's something really, really wrong about them, and they're conflicted and everything like that. So they end up leaving the order, running away. And Grayson decides to help his friend Jackson find his sister. Maybe they can get more answers. And long story short, they end up going into the wasteland, and they end up finding out that wasteland is more dangerous than what they've ever been taught. Like, it's basically a killing ground, and you can be killed at any second, and it's a place you always have to be watching your back. And I'm not going to ruin it and stuff like that, because I'm going to really focus on this after I do Centurion Valley, but Jackson finds his sister and finds out that his sister is involved in some pretty crazy stuff, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So it's something I'm working on.
Yo, that's some shit right
It's
there.
something I'm working on, and it's like definitely once I get Centurion Valley off the ground and in there, I'm definitely gonna start working on it. I actually have a couple concept arts so far, a couple characters that I did of tattoos, but I'm not going to release that just yet. If you have me on Facebook, you will see them. I did post them, but other than that, I'm keeping hush-hush on that. So that's the most that I'm going to be saying, and I will be focusing more on Centurion Valley. But when I do get Centurion Valley, which I know we're going to get it going, then that's when I'm really going to work on tattoos, because tattoos I have so much stuff planned for that. So
Oh, damn, awesome. Well, hey, man. Holy shit! I can't wait for that. Honestly, like I can't wait to like see it come to life and really say like, wow, my homie Courtney like really worked hard on this. But
West
to
animation,
end
my
off,
friend. West animation. We're gonna make that. We're gonna show the Japanese that we on the West we can make good series too.
exactly, exactly. But I want to say this to end off right now. I want to ask this. So is there anything that you would like to tell the audience? Before we go, to tell the audience, you know, to to give them a pep in their step, to show them the light. Just let them have it. What would you tell the audience?
I would really just say this, and after I'm speaking from experience of the last year that I've gone through, you never want to settle. No matter how bad things are going in your life, no matter how negative things may seem, no matter how many people you think are just abandoning you and not there with you and stuff like that, you never let that stop you from doing what you want to do. You always go for your dreams, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be that person who looks back like, damn, I should have did it. I should have did this, I should have did that. Never want to do that, because me, I already know what I was put on this planet to do, and that's to entertain people with my stories. And when I really finally figured that stuff out for myself, it really started creating my drive. And now, like, even though I still don't have anything yet, but I know, given this time next year, I am more than confident that I'm gonna have one of the best series out there. And that's with anybody. You know what I mean? If you want to do anything, if you believe in yourself that you can do it, you have that dream, you go for it. Because 99% of the people who fail their dreams never attempted it. That's the reason why they could never accomplish it. So you always attempt it. Don't let anyone negative influence you. Don't. And if you're feeling bad about yourself, don't let it consume you, because at the end of the day, there's always somebody that cares about you. And at the end of the day, if you got people who say something
Exactly.
negative about you, forget them. Forget them. Forget them. They're not with you on your ride, so they're not going to be there when
Right.
you actually arrive. That's it. When you get to your destination, they're not going to be
Exactly.
there, and that's it. So
Exactly.
just be
Exactly.
yourself, people. Just
Well
be
put.
yourself and just follow your dreams. That's all I can say.
Well put, my man. Well put. And with that, my dudes, I'm gonna end off the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Look out for Courtney's album. I'm gonna leave it in the description box below. Take a listen to it. It's fire. I'm telling you, you guys will enjoy it if you're a big nerd with the video games like how Courtney and I are. Be on the lookout for Centurion Valley and also tattoos that are coming up. And I just want to say, thank you so much, Courtney, for being on the show, telling everybody, what you've been through, what's been going on, and like where you've come and you've risen up through the ashes. And I'm really, really grateful to have you on this show.
No problem,
Well,
man. My pleasure.
hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, has been Gabe Develasco and Courtney Gist,
Yeah.
sun, signing out again, but not forever. And we'll see you for the next show. Peace.
That's my one night in the city.